There is a specific form of torture that only intelligent people understand. It is the gap between your mind and your body. In your mind, you are a builder. You can visualize a 5-year career roadmap. You can solve complex problems. You can debate philosophy and understand systems that baffle the average person. You have the engine of a Ferrari. But in reality, you cannot send that one email. You cannot make that one phone call. You cannot wash the single dish sitting in the sink. It has been there for 3 days, staring at you. And inside you are fighting a war. You are screaming at your own limbs. It takes 30 seconds, just pick it up. Just type the sentence. But your body refuses to comply. It feels like gravity has increased tenfold. It feels like there is a magnetic field pushing you away from the work. To the outside observer, it looks like you are doing nothing. But internally, you are redlining. You are burning massive amounts of mental energy just to sit still and vibrate with anxiety. The standard advice for this is useless. People tell you to just do it. They tell you to make a checklist. They talk about discipline. But they are mistaking the symptom for the cause. You don't have a discipline problem. You have a physics problem. What you are experiencing is a phenomenon called high static friction. In physics, static friction is the force that keeps a stationary object from moving. Kinetic friction is the force acting on an object that is already sliding. Here is the rule. Static friction is always higher than kinetic friction. It always takes more energy to start the car than to keep the car moving. But for you, the overthinker, the perfectionist, the architect, that initial spike of energy is not just a little bump. It is a mountain. And until we understand why your static friction is so unnaturally high, no amount of willpower will be enough to push the block. Let's analyze the mechanism. Why does a simple email feel like climbing Everest? Psychologists have a term for this. It is called the wall of awful. When a normal person looks at a task, say filing a tax form, they see the task itself. It's annoying, but it's just paper. They walk up, do it, and leave. But you don't see the paper. You see the implications of the paper. Every time you think about the task, you inadvertently lay a brick. You think, what if I do it wrong? Brick. You think, I should have done this a week ago, I'm already late. Brick. You think, if I send this email, they might reply with bad news. Brick. You think, this is boring and my brain craves stimulation. Brick. By the time you actually sit down to do the work, you aren't just trying to send an email. You are trying to scale a 20-foot wall of shame, boredom, and anxiety. This is why you are exhausted. You are trying to summon the emotional energy required to scale a fortress just to perform a task that requires 2 calories of physical effort. This triggers your brain's threat detection system, the amygdala. Your brain stops seeing the email as work. It starts seeing it as a tiger. And when a human being faces a tiger, we do not get productive. We do not use discipline. We enter a survival state. We freeze. This is the waiting mode you know so well. You are paralyzed not because you are unable to move, but because your survival instinct has slammed the emergency brake to protect you from the threat. The higher your standards, the higher the wall. The smarter you are, the more bricks you can invent. So, How do we dismantle it? The mistake you have been making is trying to smash through the wall with brute force. You try to hype yourself up. You wait for a burst of motivation. But motivation is unreliable. Physics is reliable. To defeat static friction, we do not need to add more force. We need to lower the activation energy. We do this using a technique called the stupidly small step. Your brain is terrified of the project. The project is too big. The wall is too high. So we lie to the brain. We negotiate a treaty with your amygdala. You do not set a goal to write the report. That is a threat. Your goal is simply open the laptop. That's it. You have permission to open it and immediately close it. This sounds ridiculous. It sounds too easy to work. But we are not trying to be productive yet. We are trying to be biological. By defining the task as something stupidly small, something you can do in 10 seconds with zero chance of failure, you sneak past the amygdala. You don't trigger the freeze response. And once you open the laptop, you have changed the physics. You have moved from static friction to kinetic friction. The car is rolling. And once the car is rolling, it takes almost zero energy to keep it moving. The hard part is over. You have broken the seal. This is the secret of the high-output architect. They do not have more willpower than you, they just know how to manipulate their own friction. They don't wait to feel ready. They know that motion creates emotion. They know that action is not the result of motivation. It is the cause of it. So, forget the 5-year plan for a moment. Forget the career roadmap. Just turn on the water. Just open the document. Move 1 inch. But there is one final trap you must avoid. Once you use this technique, once you lower the wall and start moving, you will feel a sudden rush of relief. The kinetic friction takes over. You will finally feel productive. And because you are an architect, your instinct will be to sprint. You will try to make up for lost time. You will try to do 5 years of work in 1 night. Do not do this. If you redline your engine the moment you get it started, you will overheat. You will wake up tomorrow morning back in freeze mode, and the wall will be twice as high. This is the cycle you have been stuck in for years, the binge and the crash. To break this, you must do something counterintuitive. You must stop before you are empty. Ernest Hemingway used to stop writing mid-sentence so that he knew exactly where to start the next morning. He was managing his friction. He was making sure the car didn't park on a steep hill. So, when you finally crack the seal today, do the small task. Send the email. Do the dishes. And then, stop. Prove to your nervous system that working does not mean dying. Build the trust. Lower the friction. The cathedral wasn't built in a day, but it was built 1 brick at a time.